If you're launching an international investment business, one of the most widely used structures is an offshore fund combined with an offshore advisory brokerage company. A common configuration used by global managers is an offshore fund domiciled in the British Virgin Islands and an investment advisor or brokerage entity based in the Cayman Islands. This structure allows the fund managers to raise capital from international investors while operating through a professional regulatory framework. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how this structure works and why fund managers use it, and the step-by-step process to launch both entities. Hey, it's Frank Nagy. Welcome to my channel where we help financial entrepreneurs grow their business in the financial markets. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. The British Virgin Islands is one of the most popular jurisdictions for launching offshore investment funds. There are several reasons managers choose the BVI. First, the regulatory environment is relatively efficient and cost-effective compared to other offshore jurisdictions. Second, the BVI offers a structure called a professional fund, which allows managers to launch funds with fewer regulatory burdens, provided that investors meet certain requirements. Third, BVI corporate law is very flexible. Managers can structure the fund as a company, a partnership, or a segregated portfolio company. Most BVI funds target professional or sophisticated investors, typically with a minimum investment of $100,000. This makes the jurisdiction ideal for hedge funds, forex funds, crypto funds, and commodity funds. While the fund may itself be domiciled in the BVI, many managers set up the investment advisor or brokerage firm in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands is considered one of the world's largest financial centers for international funds and brokerages. The advisory firm would submit an application as a registered person with the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, or CIMA. This status allows the company to provide investment advisory or securities brokerage services to sophisticated or institutional clients, no retail clients. The great thing about this structure is that you don't have to have an office in the Cayman Islands. The securities brokerage advisory company typically performs functions like portfolio management, trade execution, brokerage services, investor relations, risk management, and strategic development. Meanwhile, the fund itself remains a separate legal entity in the BVI. Hiring experienced hedge fund consultant like Frank Nagy Financial Services will greatly reduce the burden of setting up your hedge fund or offshore broker-dealer. A good consultant will make the appropriate connections with administrators, bankers, auditors, prime brokers, and attorneys that will help your hedge fund or offshore broker-dealer grow. A typical international investment structure looks like this. Investors subscribe into the BVI offshore fund. The fund then appoints the Cayman Islands advisory firm to manage the portfolio. This separation is important because it allows investment managers to operate through a regulated brokerage advisory entity while the fund remains an investment vehicle for capital. The first step is to incorporate the fund vehicle in the British Virgin Islands. This typically involves incorporating a BVI business company, drafting the fund's offering document, creating the subscription agreement for the investors, appointing the directors, and filing professional fund recognition. The regulatory body overseeing this fund is the BVI Financial Service Commission, or the FSC. Once the fund receives approval, it can begin accepting capital from qualified investors. Many funds will also appoint the following service providers: the fund administrator, auditor, legal counsel, and bank or custodian. Your fund administrator will provide services such as investor onboarding, KYC due diligence on your investors, NAV calculations, and compliance reporting. Next, the securities brokerage advisor is formed in the Cayman Islands. The company registers with the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority as a registered person under the Securities Investment Business Law Act. The process typically includes incorporating the company, appointing the directors and officers, establishing AML and compliance procedures, filing the registration with CIMA, and opening institutional banking and brokerage accounts. This entity can then legally function as a securities investment business offering traditional securities brokerages services and investment advisory services. These firms allow the fund to trade equities, derivatives, forex, or other financial instruments. The Cayman advisory firm will typically fully control the trading while the fund holds the investor assets. After the structure is complete, the final step is raising capital. Most offshore funds target family offices, international high net worth investors, institutional allocators, fund of funds, family offices, and even networking events around the globe. Managers must follow securities marketing rules in each jurisdiction where the investors are located. With the right structure and service providers, offshore funds can operate globally and manage capital from investors around the world. Launching an offshore BVI fund and a Cayman Islands brokerage advisory firm is one of the most powerful structures used by international asset managers. It separates the investment vehicle from the management company while providing regulatory and credibility and operational flexibility. Hey, if you'd like to learn more about Frank Nagy Financial Services and how we can set up your hedge fund or offshore broker dealer, click on the links below in the description box.